Now, I know the title sounds really, really bad, but come on, humor me for a second. Think about it. Who doesn't want a little bit of extra money in their wallet? Especially when things are so expensive nowadays, when Steam games are $60 and e-girls are charging an arm and a leg to talk to them on Discord. You know, a little bit of extra money could go a really long way. That's how everyone is thinking nowadays, anyway. Everyone is looking for a way to make an extra dollar here or there. So, really, even if it's unethical, what's wrong about it? Hey, if they were in your shoes, they would probably do the exact same thing. So, what's stopping you from doing it? Right now, CC games are all the rage, and for whatever reason, they're raking in an absurd amount of money. So, why wouldn't you get your hands in the pot? Begin making your own CC game. See some of that money go into your pocket. That's probably what you're thinking, right? Well, never fear. I, a game developer of 11 years and a scripter of 7, have come to release the method to the public, to show you all the Library of Solomon, give you his wisdom, and help you make your own CC game. In fact, I'll be breaking it down step by step, so nobody watching this video won't be able to follow my instructions. If you wish to be enlightened and receive some of my divine knowledge, make sure to pay close attention this video, and I'll show you how to do it. Now, the first and arguably the most important step is to begin by selling your soul to Belial. Now, you might be wondering, like, what do you mean by this? This is because nobody with a working moral compass could ever justify following any of the steps that are going to come after this. So, really, you need to get rid of any sense of morality you still hold. After all, morals are a poor man's quality, so why should you still have them? You want to be rich, right? Don't worry, it has no long term effects, and if you can't get in touch with Belial, just call me. I'll take your soul off your hands for you. Now that you've gotten rid of any proof that you were ever a human to begin with, it's time to move on to the second step, which is to get a game copy. After all games nowadays are just copies of other games that already exist anyway. So why should you put in the effort of making your own original game when you can just steal somebody else's hard work and labor? It's a lot more economic if you ask me. Now that you have the base game, the next step is to acquire lots, and I mean lots, of funding. This money is going to primarily go towards things like advertisement, developers, and e-kittens. We can't forget about the e-kittens. And the best way to make this money is through investors and sponsors. People who are idiotic enough to throw their money at whatever project comes their way, regardless of whether they actually make any returns on it or not. Now, this might sound hard at first, finding the investors and the sponsors, but it's really not that hard to find people who will just throw money at whatever project comes their way with almost no strings attached. All you really need to do is give them some false promises, dangle a few sneak peeks, a little bit of progress in front of their face, and people will come to you in droves, willingly handing you their money so that you can work on the project that realistically you should be paying for yourself. Just make sure that when you find investors, you give them the lowest return rates possible, because obviously you don't want to lose too much money now. You want to make sure you'll still have enough at the end of the day to do whatever degenerate stuff you have planned. After you've gotten enough of other people's money to work on your project for your benefit, you can finally begin promoting it to other people. You can do server partnerships, you can pay off YouTubers, you can grant waiver access for inviting a certain amount of people, and this will generally help you get your name out to as many willing victims as possible. And slowly, this will steamroll. People who are promoting the game will promote it to people who will then also promote the game, and that'll continue happening more and more until eventually you have thousands of people waiting for your game, which will probably never release. Now that you have all of these eager and loyal people waiting for your game to release, it's finally time to move on to the next step. Developing your game. Did you really believe that was the next step? No, of course not. The next step is to acquire even more funds. It doesn't matter that you've gotten barely any work done. Begin selling access. Begin selling customs. Begin selling specs. Really, sell anything you can to as many people as possible. You want even more money. What is this money being used for? Doesn't really matter, man. That's up to you. We just need even more of it. Now that you've thoroughly sucked your community of any money that might be left, it's actually time to get to working on the game. Make progress towards a release, although make it as slow as possible, and make sure to only ever show off flashy effects and useless mechanics, because you don't want the community to get worried about your really, really bad progression system. We need to keep that under wraps for as long as possible. Speaking of for as long as possible, you can take as long developing the game as you want because sure, your community might complain about it, but what are they going to do? They already spent their money funding your game. They'll have to wait for as long as you make them. Now, the final step of developing a closed community game can go one of two ways, really depending on how lazy you are. You can either, one, actually release the game in a very poorly developed state that people will play anyway because it's CC, or will probably die off in a week if you actually make it go public, or two, exit scam and don't release anything. It's not like your community was entitled to any of your hard work anyway. Now, sure, there might be some backlash that comes with stealing hundreds, if not thousands, of people's money, but really, what is anybody going to do about it? It's not like there's any laws or rules preventing you from doing any of this stuff anyway. Just disappear from the internet for a few days and then reappear under a new alias, and everybody will be none the wiser. And with that, you have created your first ever closed community game and are now in a better position with all of that excess money to do the whole thing all over again and make even more money. Because at the end of the day, money is what makes the world go round. And nobody wants to do any of that hard work stuff or creativity that everyone's always talking about. No, no, no. You want money quickly. And this is exactly how you do it. Are you worried that eventually people will figure out what you're doing and stop supporting you? Don't worry. People seem to be stupid nowadays and don't think twice before supporting any sort of project they see on the platform. So you can expect this to work for at least the next 10 years.